Well, this is not a review. This is actually my little info and special for as thanks for having reached 300 subscribers. Because actually, last time I checked, I think I had was it 301 subscribers. But then again, that's not any different than 300 subscribers. So I decided to make a little special video where I mostly just talk about myself, which I probably have. And you know, since this is special, I think I'll take these off. And so you just see my special face. Well, it's not special or anything, but I only show my eyes when there is a special thing or when I am having a nervous breakdown. So yeah, what am I gonna? First off, I have to thank every subscriber that have subscribed to me. I highly, but as a pessimist, I have to admit though, I don't really know how many of the subscribers that have subscribed to me have seen my videos. I do know of one though that I only wish I could. I hope I am just saying your name right. Solaris 1234. I probably said that wrong, didn't I? Well, uh, you have been commentating very much lately, and for that I give my very great thanks. So no, it was Solaris 290. That was it. Yeah. So that's one comment. You have been on a lot of my recent video reviews, mostly of Fairy Tail. Then again, I think you and I are one of the last defenders of Fairy Tail. Are we or something? Will I read? I will read Fairy Tail to the end. Will I like the ending? Probably not. But will I complain about it? I will only complain with the fact that I know exactly that the Spicers are gonna have a blast. Other than that, well, I do not see so many people commentating my videos. Well, then again, I'm not a good reviewer, but I have talked to a lot of better reviewers. Triple L, just another reviewer, Charles in Anime World, and I even talked to Gregory GM. Was that your name? A little bit. I'm commentating on your videos, and we had a little talk there. So I know for the fact that those people are not subscribed to me. I think, or maybe Charles. I think you were, but either way, I give you thanks mostly because it's always great to have some talk with reviewers. Because when a reviewer answers a commentating, it always feels like a little bit of an honor. But now I'm gonna talk a little bit more about myself, because as I said before, I'm not supposed to be a good reviewer. Don't get me wrong, I want to improve a lot, but I don't know how. I only have one computer that can record myself, and it's only, and one day when I stop reviewing for 2 months or month or two or so, you can either say that my computer has completely gone fried or there has been some kind of mishap. Because I really believe that I cannot review from this computer alone forever, but who knows, that's not important. I was gonna talk a little bit about myself that I haven't already said. About, first off, who am I? Well, I'm not gonna say my real name, but I am, but I am a guy with a disorder. I've many times said that I'm a guy that have a disorder. I actually have a mild form of Asperger's syndrome and another mild form of ADHD. So that is one of the reasons why I always get so, I wouldn't say passionate, but why my reviews are usually so very whiny. Maybe that's the real review saying, because I take some things I like very personal. So when someone blasts that one, or when that something happened, then I will get pissed, because I'm dedicated to that. Well, maybe not. Maybe dedicated is the wrong word, but I am not. But I don't. You know, I wanna. What I like, and it takes a lot for something to make me dislike it. Because I feel like I work different than other people, and I'm not saying that I'm smarter. No, I'm saying that when people lose interest in series, they feel like it's too much of an ass pull, too much of a non-creative thinking. What makes me lose things? their negative talk. That's what making me lose interest in a series, or too much despair. You know, I'm a self-proclaimed hypocrite sometimes, because I hate people who complain, but I cannot stop complaining myself. Yeah, I know, that is extremely hypocritical. Or was it yes, hypocrite? I'm sorry, because the other thing I can tell, as you all can hear from my accent and my very bad English, I am not British. I'm not even American. I am Scandinavian, and that is why I always slur my words. I've said that in some videos, but I think I could say it right here now. And uh, uh, yeah, something like that. So I always slur my words when I want to talk about something. I'm more of an improv guy. I hardly have any scripts, if anything at all, because, well, I'm saying, what are you gonna write about? It's just, isn't it just better to say your emotions right out loud like that? But yeah, I've called myself the Angry Anime Fan, the Despair Reviewer, despite my name not being the Despair Reviewer. I can tell you the reason for that is because I have no freaking idea how you modify your YouTube names. If I knew to do that without erasing the, you know, not page, the account, then I would do it. So if you have any idea how to do that, then feel free to tell me. Because then I would have modified my name to call myself the Angry Anime Fan, the Despair Reviewer. Because I'm a guy that have drowned in despair. But I'm also a guy that has not experienced true despair. Because, well, people that live a very different life than us, they know the true meaning of endless despair. However, I feel like they lived like that. So it's most of those people that live in true despair will usually either find the deepest meaning of life, while others will not. I mean, that's different from us. Some of us, like me, drown in despair because every single thing we read and see in the world is just so negative for us. And I am one of those guys. I mean, I hate reading the news. Every single time I read it, it's nothing but bad news for me. I hate politics extremely much. Even as much as it's needed in order to have order in this already chaotic world. At the same time, it just feels like they're not enough politics who read manga or watch animated shows. If there were, then I think we would have had a little bit wiser politicians. Yeah, I know that sounds very stupid, but I feel like that's truth. Because politics try to be smart, and that's the problem. People only listen to people that are stupid, because humanity have become stupid all these last couple of years. That's the key. They shouldn't think they can solve this diplomatic. They shouldn't need to see how they can solve this poetically. That's the key of opening humanity's hearts. At least that's how I have felt this world in these last couple of 5 years. And that is what I mean when I have drowned in despair. What I see is different than other things. And due to the fact that I hate despair but cannot stop talking about it, I also hate some series, of course, because another thing I want to talk about is the fact that even I have a series which I hate for very stupid reasons. I mean, people hate on series I like mostly because of what I feel is stupid reason, but they feel is completely justifiable. Something like the art is too like that, the story is lazy. Sometimes, an easy story is needed. Not everyone can create a advanced story. I know that because I took writing classes. Have you any idea how difficult it is to create that one story you feel is good, and then you create a story which you always feel is bad, but then the right teacher actually praises you for that one. So before those despisers say it's easy writing a difficult story, it is not. It is not easy writing a difficult story. So we shouldn't be so demanding all the time. The only thing we should be demanding on is things that have already existed, like video games. Final Fantasy VII and Kingdom Hearts are one of my favorite games. Will we ever get those games released in 3 and a remake? No, we will not. I am a deep and utter negative person, so I do not believe we will have released them. Don't get me wrong, I want to be proven wrong, but it's just that they are the greatest example of people that do not listen to the humanity's answer. No matter how difficult a game is making, no matter how difficult it is wanting to keep things secret, they are forgetting one thing. Humans are impatient, and they must give us something in order to satisfy our thirst. But people are used to wait. But we cannot wait forever, because there's another thing people forget. We are not immortal. No one is immortal. So we cannot just push forward a game 10 years. Because then the guys who were 16, who grew up with game, are 26 then later. And what if they're 36? I mean, they may like video game just as much, but it won't be the same. It won't be the same. So people need to realize that. It's not easy making a difficult story. And if it's easy for some other people, it has nothing to do with talent in my book. It's just that someone has a better grasp on how to do it than others. And I'm not a cartoonist. I cannot draw a single bit. So I don't know how difficult it is to draw a series of a cartoon, not even a comic. I love cartoons and I wish I could have worked with animation, but I'm not an animator, so that's not possible. So what I'm trying to say is, people criticize many artists because their stories are lazy. Then what about the art? Can you do the same? Oh wait, you could do the same. Then do you know how difficult it was? Was it not difficult to you? Well, it's not difficult for that manga artist either. There are some artists who has immense stamina, and others who have succumbed to the enormous pressure of the manga industry. Because manga industry is an extremely dangerous job in Japan, what I have read. But it's also the fact that fans are ungrateful by nature. And I am also including myself in that argument, don't get me wrong. Because we expect something we will not have, because that's the meaning of, because that's how much we want those series we love. And when that doesn't happen enough, then the love we had for a series turns to blind hatred. And then we do nothing but hate on that series. So, yeah, I'm just saying, some artists will be disliked for a lot. It's a pretty ungrateful situation we all have here. But I got off topic a lot. One of the last things I want to talk about is that even I have series I hate. And those series are Hunter x Hunter, Attack on Titans, and Tokyo Ghoul. All of those series are extremely good and well made. So a hater would say to me, oh, you mean you have so your mind is just as stupid as you look. I mean, I said before, I prefer simple series because it's easier to get along with them, and they resonate with me wanting to have the world a little bit easier understanding. So why? But it's not because of that I despise those series. What do I despise? Well, first off, what's the good thing about Tokyo Ghoul? It's an extremely good description of humanity's deepest, goriest moments. We are thrown into a world where there are human-like people that are not humans. They're called ghouls, and then humans themselves killing each other, blood, and even some cannibalism. I mean, it's a perfect goring picture of humanity's depraved feelings. And that's exactly how we are right now. And that's the reason why I have lost so much faith in that series. It's just from a series that looked with a main character in torture, in the end it has turned into a character that is not a hero but not a villain either. In the end, what he is, I don't know. And so many characters that should have gotten spotlight don't have any spotlight at all. And then you just throw in some other confusion. The art itself is not for my liking because it's so dirty. Even a sex scene that was made there, for some strange reason, it didn't click with me. It looked more disturbing than I actually felt like it was interesting. I don't know why. So, and then you kill off the characters that have the most potential, because that's just how the real world works. That's the reason why I have lost, why I hate Tokyo Ghoul. And then Attack on Titans. Well, that's also an ultimate good picture of humanity's desperate hours. Zombie movies are extremely common nowadays, and even I wrote a zombie movie once upon a time. So, I mean, of course, don't get me wrong, it never got worked. I wrote a story, I should say that I wished could have been a movie. But that's not the point. The point is, it's a unique way because we have zombies, but instead of zombies, it's titans. Giant, grin-liking creatures that devour. And every time someone devours, it's extremely disturbing sight to watch. And then we're following the main characters as slay them. So why do I hate Attack on Titans? Well, it's a perfect example on how a person's environment can create someone's disturbing personality. We're not living in a happy-go-lucky world here. Not with rainbows, not with friendship, not even with the power of feelings. We're not living in that kind of world in Attack on Titans. Is that why I hate it? No, it's not because of that. It's because it's extremely disturbing for me to see how these characters work, because they live in a world like that. A guy that is somehow having a female voice, I don't really, but I don't really know why I should have. A girl that is so obsessed with the boy, it's at the beginning she looked extremely borderline action for me, and then just suddenly, just having her being obsessed with one line is for me disturbing. And then the main character whose rage is so great that for me he is no way better than the people that he wants to kill. It's just that's just how the story, it works for the story, because that's how it works. But seeing the darkest pits of humanity's downfall there, and then we are taken a little bit further when things are finally being explained. I liked the conspiracy things, but I also felt like it had unnecessary big information. It's something like, okay, what is going on here? In fact, the only thing I liked was one of the later chapters when a nameless grunt actually told the main characters, "You guys suck." And it was an extremely satisfying speech he told, and that fact that no one ever said anything about that pissed me off more. He said the fact that one of the characters, Armin, shouldn't have been saved because he was not a commander. That is correct, he is not a commander. And then he's saying that Mikasa was the one who gave up because well, of that reason. And Eren is always blowing up every time his friends is getting attacked. So what I mean to say is, they are selfish. They do not fight for humanity. They do not even fight for other survival. They only fight for themselves because they want to live. And humanity are selfish by nature, so that's actually a good thing. But it's still not so inspiring to see the fact that they never admit they are wrong. They are not foolproof, so it pisses me off that they are getting away with it. The only thing they're not getting away is that they're now on a deadline of dying, so I won't mourn for them if they do. So Attack on Titans is just a horror story that went from apocalyptic to conspiracy to extremely disturbing. So I don't like to see humanity's disturbing moments like that. And the art, well, the art is nice, but it's not my liking. And finally, but all those series I can give a passing hand, despite how much I said I hate them because of the themes there. But a series I will never forgive is Hunter x Hunter. Why won't I forgive it? Well, let me count every single petty action why. The main characters. I hate the fact that they're 12-year-old boys. It's extremely disgusting to see 12-year-old boys doing all this. Their voices annoys me greatly because of their age. They never even grew up. This men system works, but then it just creates confusion for me. The only thing it's good is the fact that we can practically guess a nen from a person just by seeing that one's personality. It's a deconstruction. Not a single shonen twerp is followed into this one because of this construction. And then another main character. Why the hell did that female voice come from? Just because he looks like a female? It doesn't fit. And then you have another main character, the only character I feel like have potential, and then you throw him in when you're never gonna continue the series. Then you create a horror arc that a lot of people hate, but a lot of people like, and then they criticize me for liking a bad arc. That arc was extremely disgusting and disturbing. It didn't even happen anything. And then you just thrown in that the main character reunite with father and blah 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 blah. The story, the Hunter story could have ended right there and there if we wanted more. But it had to continue. And would it be good to continue? I don't know. And then the revenge plan, the villains itself. The villains are also a good picture of humanity's depravity because they are how they are, but it's still not for me liking to see. And the worst of all, the creator Togashi has fallen to the enormous pressure of manga. I said everything what I meant before. It's not easy writing a story, nor is it easy writing art. But for him, it's on a whole different level. He just releases 5 chapters and then comes back after 2 years, and then he writes 5 chapters and then disappears. I mean, if you don't have the stamina, then fine. Tell us. You don't really tell us every single day if you have the stamina. So, I'm sorry. No matter how much he suffers, of course, if he passes away early, then I will mourn for him because it's always sad when a manga artist dies too soon. But I will not forgive him for not telling us why. He may tell us why, but we don't know. But we always forget why. The thing is, again, he is not immortal. We are not immortal. A story is not immortal. When you have created a story, a manga artist is forced to finish it. Because we demand it. It's selfish. We have selfish deeds. It's an endless argument of selfishness, and he doesn't listen to that. So, in the end, who is selfish? We, the fans, that demand it, or he who doesn't write? I say both of us. I mean, I'm not a fan, but I'm just saying. So yeah, I really don't like Hunter. What's the only thing I liked about it is the fact that yes, it's a deconstruction of the shonen twerp, and it's pretty. But again, it's pretty disturbing to see a 12-year-old or a 13-year-old boy suddenly, apparently from a looking like a very nice character. In the end, he is not a nice character. He is a guy with a mental disorder and a very warped way of right and wrong because the excuse for that is because he's a child. And even the other boy, the boy is an assassin, and yet he is the one who looks more morally like. And the guy who looks like a lady for an endless amount of revenge, and not even trying to sound like a guy. It's the only guy I liked was Leorio, because he is pretty straightforward, and he's pretty honest what he does, but he has also not too much potential. And then we have Shiado. If that really is a she, then yeah, I like her. I'm not saying that because there's also a very huge amount of gender confusion inside the Hunter x Hunter. And it's the point, but I do not like it. I don't. And another character I like is Hisoka. I mean, sometimes he looks like a disturbing, depraved pedophile, homosexual pedophile. Other times he looks like a depraved rapist of a girl. But it's the fact that he talks like a young boy, and the fact that he is so that he can waver from creepiness to others is the only reason I like his character. So I will never forgive Hunter x Hunter. I hate that series with a passion. So people can hate on Fairy Tail much as they want. I hate on Hunter x Hunter for the exact same reason. Petty actions. That's basically my story about me. And my rant about everything else. Not exactly so very interesting, but For those who still will stay behind even after hearing this very long rant, I thank you, and take care. We'll see you in a review back when I have these on.